Packers star quarterback Jordan Love practiced for the first time since suffering an ankle injury in Week 1. Love returning to practice on Wednesday, less than 2 weeks after spraining his MCL. He participated in drills with a sleeve on his left leg, and there's talk that he could even play this Sunday. Here's what Love had to say after practice.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. I'm going to take the week and just take it day by day and see how it feels. But I'm not going to make any decision on that now. You know, I'm hopeful that I'll get to that point where I can get in there. But we're just going to, take it day by day and see.
Jordan Love says he's hopeful. Matt LaFleur says if he's ready, he'll be ready. If he's not, we'll proceed with Malik. As we welcome in CBS Sports HQ NFL analyst Ryan Wilson, John Breech, the Super Friends reunite. Ryan, how cautious is too cautious? Because if Jordan Love is good to go against the Titans, aren't you running him out there with little hesitation?
I'm hesitating, Akeem, because they won last week, and they won last week with Malik Willis basically throwing the ball 4 or 5 times and leaning on the run game and their defense. And now you're going to play the Tennessee Titans, where Will Levis, for 2 weeks now, has found ways to give the ball to the other team in the red zone, and we've seen it has caused Brian Callahan to lose his mind in real time on the sidelines. So I think if you're thinking about winning this game in the near term, you have to take the long-term implications into account. By that, I mean, do you want to take a chance on Jordan Love not being 100% because he plays in this game down the road? He gets banged up and then he can't go October, November, December. I would just wait. I would take Jordan's advice. Wait a couple of days, see where he's at. And if you have to roll with Malik Willis, that's what you do. And there's also something that we talked about all the time, Breech, revenge game factor for Malik Willis in Tennessee, returning to the team that traded him about a month ago.
Yeah, Wilson, you can never underestimate the revenge game factor. Obviously, Malik Willis would love to be out there. If there's one game he wants to start this season, it is on Sunday against the Titans. And as you said with Jordan Love, look, the season is a marathon. It is not a sprint. And you don't want your starting quarterback to fall down and get hurt with a serious injury on mile 3 of that marathon. And you look at what the Packers did on Wednesday at practice. It was non-padded practice. You're not really asked to do much. So we don't know what kind of mobility Jordan Love has right now. I don't think he has been fully cleared for contact just yet, so we'll learn more about that on Thursday and Friday. But look, I think by beating the Colts in Week 2, that gives you kind of a safety net. If they had been 0-2 going into this game, I think maybe they would have pressed a little more to get Jordan Love out there. But at 1-1, I think you feel a little bit better about keeping him on the bench if he's not 100%, because you don't want to be a sitting duck out there. And then you look at their schedule, and they have the Vikings waiting in Week 4. And I think that's where you definitely want Jordan Love on the field. So I won't be surprised if Malik Willis is out there on Sunday. Then they put Jordan Love out there against Minnesota in Week 4.
All right, you guys are being cautious. I'm saying get him back out there, but I get it. I understand what you're thinking here. Titans again on the road this week, followed by the big home game against division rival Minnesota. Elsewhere, Chargers star quarterback Justin Herbert is dealing with an ankle injury that he suffered in Sunday's win over the Panthers. Not a major concern. Head coach Jim Harbaugh believes he'll play in Week 3 against the 2-0 Steelers, a game you can see on CBS. Chargers off to their first 2-0 start since 2012. All right, back here with Ryan and John, and Jim Harbaugh expects Herbert to play, so sounds like he's going to play on Sunday, and he's been aided by the run game. Fortunately, someone who's not dealing with injury is running back J.K. Dobbins, hampered by injuries during his career. He's looked great the first 2 weeks, rushed for 266 yards, 2 touchdowns, the most rushing yards in the first 2 games of a season in Chargers history. Ryan, how refreshing is it to see how Dobbins has started this season?
It's great. A great story for J.K. Dobbins. A great story for Justin Herbert in that he's not being asked to do everything. And look, Breech will tell you, I was the biggest stand for Brandon Staley that probably worked at CBS Sports. That did not work out. It was quite clear. He got fired after a disastrous loss to the Raiders last season. And here comes Jim Harbaugh, who wins everywhere he goes, Akeem. We know he can win in college. A decade ago, he showed up in San Francisco and turned that organization around literally overnight. And I think the takeaway here is that you can come play for Jim Harbaugh. You will have success immediately. It may not be pretty, and by that I mean these last 2 games with franchise quarterback Justin Herbert making 55+. They ran the ball 58% of the time, second in the league these 2 weeks, and that's a benefit to J.K. Dobbins. And I think what that means on Sunday, and I'm laughing because when they get to Pittsburgh, they're going to set the passing game back 50 years, those 2 teams. They're going to run the ball every single play. It might be a 90-minute football game, so if you have something to do Sunday afternoon, that's the good news. But I think the way Jim Harbaugh's playing with this team, they're buying in. They're 2-0. They'll win ugly or pretty. They don't care how they do it.
You know, Ryan, you're our resident Steelers homer here. Were you rubbing your lucky rabbit's foot before the season? Because you look at the quarterbacks the Steelers have faced so far. You had Kirk Cousins banged up in week 1, definitely wasn't 100%. Bo Nix in week 2, who won't throw the football down the field. And now Justin Herbert, again, banged up with the ankle, didn't practice Wednesday, probably going to not be 100% even if he plays on Sunday. But Herbert's one of those situations where, unless he says, I can't play, you send him out there. And the one big advantage right now for the Chargers is that he's not the one carrying the team. As you mentioned, Wilson, this is a team that is run first now. When the Chargers kind of talked about it during the offseason, it was, you know what, we're going to run the ball a lot, and we're going to take the ball out of our star quarterback's hands. It sounded a little crazy, but now that we're seeing it in action, the Chargers are 2-0 for the first time since 2012. So this strategy is working. So even if Justin Herbert's a little banged up, their offense can still function because of what J.K. Dobbins is doing and what that rushing attack is doing. So I think the Chargers will be okay, even if Herbert isn't 100%.
Well, we saw what J.K. Dobbins did at Ohio State, and we saw him what he did in the short amount of time he was with Baltimore. And he did play a season there where he was pretty darn good. And Jim Harbaugh recognized that, right? I mean, he saw him play, and he saw him play for his brother. He saw him at Ohio State. Former Raven, averages nearly 109 yards per game against Pittsburgh, the 5th most rushing yards per game versus the Steelers since 1950. Run game, run it all day. As we move along here, there's also more injuries to talk about. In New England, the Patriots' entire starting offensive line is dealing with injuries, including center David Andrews, who's dealing with a hip injury. Their left tackle and left guard already ruled out. Veteran Vidarian Lowe and Sidney So both out because of injuries. This past Sunday, Patriots lost in overtime to Seattle. Run game was productive, but Jacoby Brissett got sacked 3 times in that one. Patriots are projected to start rookie Caden Wallace at left tackle. New England is allowing the 3rd worst pressure rate in the NFL thus far. The Jets defense ranks 3rd in the NFL in pressure rate, so could be a tough night for Brissett. Ryan, you're familiar with Wallace out of Penn State, and he might have his welcome to the NFL moment on Thursday night.
I like Caden a lot coming out of Penn State. Here's a fun fact. He played right tackle at Penn State. He is now being asked to play left tackle. Unfortunately, he is not Joe Alt, the team we just talked about, where he moved from the left side of Notre Dame to the right side in Los Angeles and didn't miss a beat. He looks like he's been playing the NFL for 15 years. Caden Wallace had a chance to win this job in the preseason, didn't do it. They went with Vidarian Lowe, the veteran there. You mentioned the injury there. So this is a huge concern. Even with Jermaine Johnson now out, even with no Hassan Reddick yet to return to the building after that press conference back in April for the Jets, this is a problem, and I would imagine Jacoby Brissett is pre-icing his muscles because he's going to take a beating in this game on Thursday night. He's got to get the ball out quickly. He's got to get some help from his receivers who have struggled to get open, not just this season, but for what feels like the last 4 or 5 years in New England, even before Jacoby arrived there. But listen, I'll say this team is 1-1. They had a chance to be 2-0 against the Seahawks last week at home, had that huge win in week 1 over Breech's Bengals. They're outplaying the expectations. Now, they got to stay healthy at the quarterback position if everyone else is going to be hurt. We'll see how long that goes, because ultimately the plan is to keep Drake May, the rookie, on the bench. But if they're running out of bodies up front to protect the quarterback, who knows how long that's going to last, too.
Yeah, and Wilson, you mentioned they're outplaying their expectations, and they're doing that because they're playing to their strengths. We knew their pass blocking was going to struggle this season, so Rob Meyer said, you know what, we're not going to throw the ball. We'll just run it, and that's kind of what they've done. I mean, this is a team that has the 5th most rushing yards in the NFL in the first 2 weeks. I think they caught the Bengals off guard with the amount and with ease that they were able to run the ball. And so now it's not so much a strength when half of your offensive line is out, the other half is injured, and you only have one healthy guy. So that makes it more difficult to do the one thing you are good at, which is get your rushing attack going. And when you look at what the Jets have up front, yes, Jermaine Johnson is injured, but there are plenty of guys, Quinnen Williams, Quincy Williams, Will McDonald. You're looking at their front 7. It is a strong front 7 that is probably going to be able to beat up on this battered New England offensive line. So it does feel like, with all the injuries piling up in New England, that this could be a long Thursday night for the Patriots.
Patriots have won 8 straight road games against the Jets. Meantime, the Jets are looking for back-to-back wins against the Patriots for the first time since the 08-09 season. The hits keep coming for the 49ers. Already without Christian McCaffrey. Now the team will be without Deebo Samuel for the next few weeks. Deebo suffered a calf strain late in Sunday's loss against the Vikings. Here's head coach Kyle Shanahan on if the changes for the offensive game plan will make a big impact.
Yeah, I'd say. I mean, we saw the same amount of plays, just somewhat different styles of plays, different people in different spots. You eliminate some special things that you would only do for those guys, but the number doesn't change. Just there's things those guys do very well, nothing the other guys can't do. But there's kind of different percentages on how much you call them and things like that.
All right, so it changes a bit back here with Ryan and John. This will be the first game since CMC joined the team in 2022 that the 49ers will play a game without McCaffrey and Deebo. 49ers play at the Rams this week, who are banged up as well, followed by home games against the Patriots and Cardinals. John, can San Francisco withstand the loss of McCaffrey and Deebo over the next few weeks?
Akeem, if they were playing any other team, I would be a little iffy, but the 49ers have lucked into some fortuitous scheduling here because they are playing the most injured team in the history of the NFL with the Rams here. The Rams are just battered right now. They've got guys on the offensive line beaten up. They've got Puka Nacua on injured reserve. Cooper Kupp not playing. So if you're the 49ers, I think this is a situation where you just don't want to overthink it. Give the ball to Jordan Mason 30 times on Sunday. See what he can do. See if he can replicate his week 1 numbers. He's gotten over 100 yards in both his games. So that's what I'm doing. I'm leaning on the rushing attack. You watch what the Cardinals did to the Rams in week 2. Arizona ran the ball 40 times for over 230 yards. So I think that is the game plan I'm looking to do if I'm San Francisco. And you know what? It's not like just because Deebo's out, they don't have anyone to throw to. You still have Brandon Ayuk. You still have George Kittle. So there are guys that Brock Purdy can get the ball to through the air if they need to go that route. But I am leaning on my rushing attack to get through week 3 against the Rams.
Yeah, Breech, the 49ers, or excuse me, the Rams would love to have the 49ers problems in terms of injuries because, to your point, you and I might be suited up for them come this weekend. So stay limber because we might have to fly out there and help them out. But I think your larger point is the right one. The 49ers run the ball about 44% of the time.
Could you imagine? I just want to think about that.
No.
Real
stretching right now.
I mean, they're going to call guys. Could you imagine if you tried to go play in an NFL game? Like fans always say that we say, oh, I could go out there and get a yard. No, we couldn't.
Oh. Over-under is 3 plays for how long we last.
I don't want to punt. I don't want to kick off. I don't want to hold. I'll be the guy that goes and picks up the tee. That's all I want to do because otherwise it's going to be a bloodbath. But to Breech's larger point, and we're actually not going out there, so rest assured, family members, that we should be safe this weekend. We'll see. But to Breech's larger point, the 49ers rush the ball about 44% of the time, and they're 10th in the league in rushing yards, about 140 per game. So just lean on your running backs. It doesn't matter who it is. We've seen them plug-and-play guys and go from there. You get through this game against the Rams, you're in good shape. The week after that, you play at home against the Patriots. You have to travel across the country. And then you have a little rough stretch with 2 division matchups with the Cards and the Seahawks, and then the Chiefs come to town as well. So 2 weeks, get healthy. You should win those games. Lean on the run game and the defense and go from there.
49ers have won 7 straight road games against the NFC West. They'll be playing a virtual home game when they visit the LA Rams this Sunday. John Breech, Ryan Wilson here on CBS Sports HQ. Men, thank you. They are not suiting up, by the way, for an NFL team. They're on our team still. Here's a look at Sunday's slate of games on CBS, including a pair of undefeated matchups. Justin Herbert and the Chargers visit TJ Watt and the Steelers, while CJ Stroud and the Texans tangle Justin Jefferson and the Vikings. You can also watch the game streaming live on Paramount+.